There's a new tiny K-van in BeamNG. It's the Daikisei Katai. Let's take it for a spin and see how it compares to the other K-trucks already in BeamNG. So here it is, the Daikisei Katai. This is a K-van, really compact. These are Japanese vehicles that are used mostly by small businesses and farms. So Daikisei is a new brand. It's based on Daihatsu, and the Katai is based on the 6th generation Daihatsu Hijet. This mod is free and on the repo. It's by a modder called Ender. I really like the styling of this thing. I wouldn't say it's the highest quality BeamNG mod I've ever seen. There's some weird sort of modeling going on here, but I still really love the design. It's very compact and very cute. The interior is what you'd expect, but there's actually quite a lot of room in here. You can have cargo and passenger variants. You can see there's quite a bit of space back there. And of course, we've got opening doors all the way round, sliding doors. Look at the rear tailgate here. Quite a lot of room, as you can see. But the coolest feature is under the seats. So if you unlatch the seats all the way along and then drag the seats upwards, we expose the engine. This is a 550cc straight-free engine producing just 30 horsepower. I love this little detail, really cool. And to put the seats down, you just press the latches once, and there we go. So, driving the Katai. Well, despite having just 30 horsepower, the engine is so charismatic. It revs up to 6,500 RPM, and it sounds pretty good. So this thing is mid-engined and rear-wheel drive, just like a Ferrari. Can we get it to drift? There's a little bit of wheel spin action, but no drift to speak of. Going up hills in the Katai is pretty difficult. I mean, this isn't a heavy vehicle, but 30 horsepower and barely any torque. Oh dear. Luckily, we do have some turbo and four-wheel drive models to check out later. I mean, we've only got one dial here. It only shows the speed. So, whoa, let's try crash test. Now, these vehicles don't usually perform well in a crash test, but let's try it against a H series. Oh dear. Yeah, the cockpit has now basically been disintegrated. It's gone. But you know what? I am impressed with that crash model. I like it a lot. This mod has 16 configs, but it will be updated in the future with more content. Let's check out the export model, which has a 1-litre engine. So the Daikisei 1000. This is the export model. We have a 1-litre straight-free engine producing about 50 horsepower. So it's not massive, but it's an improvement. And you can see this is the passenger variant. You can basically use these vans as anything. Camper vans, cargo vans, taxis, you name it, they can do it. So how much of a difference does that bigger engine make? Well, whoa, that's wheel spin. Yep, this seems to be quicker. Mind out, driving school covet. Oh yeah, this is definitely quicker. I'd say you could use this in traffic. I'm not sure you could use the 500cc one outside Japan, where traffic tends to move quite slowly in city centers, but whoa, oh, handling is not bad. And we're accelerating up a hill in second gear, so yeah, improvement on that front. Brakes are not very... Ah, dear. Brakes are not very good, unfortunately. So this thing was built between 1981 and 1986, exactly the same model years as the Daihatsu Hijet it's based on. Now, back then, these K-vans were known for rolling over when you turned at very high speeds. So let's go on the highway and see if this thing can flip over. Okay, so approaching 60 miles per hour. We're going to do the moose test. Left, right, left. See if it can flip over right, left, and then, oh no! It just wants to spin. You know what? It's pretty stable. This is the 4-wheel drive model, and specifically it's called the Hiker. So these are basically made for off-roading or people who buy these in rural locations. You can see we've got these chunky tires, upgraded suspension, and with the 4-wheel drive, this thing should be good off-road. Before we set off though, let me show you some of the interior interactivity. So we've got a dome light up here, that's really nice. And look at this, we've even got hazard lights on top of the steering wheel. I really like that. Okay, so let's engage 4-wheel drive. You can also put it into low range mode, which is nice. But here we go, 4-wheel drive, and off we go. Now this area next to the racetrack has lots of sand dunes and hilly bits. Let's see if it can get up here. Now this is the Japanese model, which means we only have the 550cc engine, but it's gripping quite well. This is relatively steep. And can it take the bumps? Well, it seems like it can, yeah. Suspension has been toughened and heightened. Oh, smashed front windscreen, but you wouldn't be driving this fast, I don't think. Wow, it's like a mountain goat. I mean, anywhere I go, this thing just responds, even with its tiny engine. Okay, we are struggling up here a bit. Let's put it into low range. Yep, straight away. we're off. Oh, yeah. That's really good. This is the off-road config. Now, the last one was a factory config, but this one has been modified. We've got a different exhaust. We've got a turbocharged engine, and look at those front lights. Can we turn them on with Alt and N? Oh, they are blinding. Okay, it does seem a lot quicker with that turbo. Let's see if we can get up here. What the heck has happened to that car there? Okay, well... Oh, yes. Oh, that's brilliant. I mean, look at these tiny wheels. They're probably, what, 12-inch wheels, I think? They're tiny, but so much power is being put through these. Another thing that's really nice is that the ignition key actually works. And look, as I move around, it actually wobbles with the G-forces. Back on the road now with the turbo model. So this was made in Japan. It does have the 550cc straight-free engine. I don't know how much power the turbo adds, but let's see if it's any faster. So, onto the road, and the turbo's not very big, but... Oh, that feels all right. I reckon it brings the performance up to about the level of the export market 1-litre engine. I have to say the handling is kind of bizarre. It's a weird mix of understeer and oversteer, and when you brake anywhere near a corner, the centre of gravity is just pushed so far over that you end up spinning. I'm just going to push the brake slightly, and oh, you can initiate a drift just by pressing the brake pedal. It would be nice to have some badges at the back here. That would add a bit of detail to this mod. I think the exterior is just lacking that little bit of detail that some of the other K-Truck mods have, like the Hirochi Talent, for example. That's probably the best K-Truck we've got in BeamNG, but of course this is a K-Van, not a K-Truck. There is a difference. Before we check out some of the highly tuned variants, let's have a look at these. So on the left we've got the Reliable, and this is basically the beta config in the mod, but if you look in the back there is something very cool. This mod does have cargo box support. You see you can actually fit one XL size cargo box in there, and on the right we've got the Slammed. This has a front lip and really quite ridiculous camber wheels at the front there, and it's been lowered by a lot on the suspension. Now I'm wondering if you can get this thing to drift. I'm guessing that's what the camber is designed for. So second gear, sort of drifting. Third gear, yeah, we need some kind of different differential back here. It's just spinning one wheel. We are doing a donut of a kind, though. So then, this config is called the Kevin, and I'm guessing that's a reference to the Ibishu Kevin, which was another K-Truck mod released for BeamNG. Now, this has lots of modifications, not really for speed, but for style. I love the wheels, and I love the paint job as well. Inside, we've got bucket seats, and you can see some of the uprated shock absorbers back here. They look really cool, and I'm guessing as we move along, they will be moving. So this isn't about speed, but it does have enough power for this thing to go relatively quick. As you can see back there, the shock absorbers are moving up and down. That's a beautiful detail. Great to see them inside the cabin, so we can actually see the inner workings of this vehicle. Now, how does it handle this? Oh, you know what? It's very grippy, very drifty as well. And what about the brakes? Oh, no. The brakes are not good. That was full braking. Just didn't seem like it wanted to brake. This is the drag config. We've got nitro, and look at this scaffolding inside. That is crazy. One of the biggest roll cages I think I've ever seen. Now at the back, we've got this spoiler, which looks more like a canopy, and this wheelie bar to stop us basically flipping all the way over. Apparently this can do the 1/4 mile in 8.4 seconds. So let's test it. Okay, so we're on the line. Let's rev it up, and green. Whoa, yes, it really does want to wheelie. Oh my goodness, wow. So 8.4 seconds we're trying to beat. I don't think we're going to match it because we had a bad start, but 8.566. That's not bad. And if you wanted to, you could still use this as a van, but oh, it doesn't actually open all the way because the spoiler gets in the way, but there's a little bit of room in there. This is the Offroad variant. It's a very special variant which has been tuned to the max. Only 10 of these were made. It's got a stage 2 variable boost supercharger, and look at this body kit. I love the side skirts. We've got the same rear wing again, and on the interior you can see the engine is exposed. I've no idea how much power it produces. I'm assuming it's a lot. So let's take it on the track, and very slow to start, a lot of turbo lag, and then, oh yes, this is pretty quick. Handling wise, what's it like? Well, you can push it in and it just goes. Great grip at the front. Revs as high as 9,500 RPM. Let's try and, whoa, brakes again are an issue. I'm really tentative on the brakes because there's something wrong. It just wants to spin out when you touch the brakes. Now, you can customize this vehicle quite a bit. There's a lot of aftermarket parts and tuning, but I'm sure the issues I've talked about today can be improved in the future. And yeah, this thing is pretty quick. There's 100 miles per hour. How many gears? We've got 5. We've got 6 gears. Wow. Here we go. Brakes. Just gently brake. Gently. Whoa. Yeah, the brakes are still pretty good when you're pressing them gently, but these brakes have been upgraded. How quick do we go around this corner? That's about 40. I think we could go quicker than that. That was good. Now, does this thing want to flip over? We do have grippier tires, so here we go. Right, left. No, it just wants to spin. And this is the race variant. Now, this is a version of the Okudai that's been taken to another level with some improvements to stop it rolling around and spinning out. You can see the massive rear wing there. That definitely looks more like a race wing. So let's take this thing for a spin. I think we've got the same amount of power, but does it feel any different in terms of handling? Oh, no. It does feel a bit quicker, actually. Yeah, we've got 37 PSI. It is more powerful. Well, there's 120. We're still accelerating 6th gear. Oh, yes. Now, the braking situation is pretty similar, so we don't brake too hard, but that's like half braking. Yep, went pretty well, and quite a lot of understeer, but responds well to my inputs. Second corkscrew corner, went over the curb there, didn't spin out. I'm going to take it a lot faster this time, about, whoa, don't brake too hard, that's about 45, 50 miles per hour. Oh, it feels more understeery, but it handles more flat, so it's more predictable to drive. Here we go, push it through there, over the curb, nearly losing control. Oh, I knew it was too good to last. Corner at the bottom, we're going to go right. Oh, the brakes, oh dear. Yeah, hopefully the developer can improve the problem with the brakes, but I'm guessing if these things handle like that in real life, maybe it's realistic. So there are really K-truck races in Japan, but you'd have to be pretty brave to do that, and this thing is an example of how dangerous they can be. But that was the Daikisei Katai. This is a free mod available on the repo. I've left a link in the description down below. Let me know what you think of this mod in the comments, and if you'd like to see another K-truck mod for BeamNG, click the video on screen right now. It's of the Hiroshi talent. I really recommend that one. It's a great mod. But that's all from me, and I'll see you soon for some more simulator adventures.